What I'm here to share with you is if you watched my Instagram stories throughout the day, it probably appears like I had a great day. And that's pretty accurate. I did have a great day, but wow, let's just say I can't get in bed soon enough. Today, I want to just end this day. I want to end this day. It's been a real, I got up at 3. Today was a rest day, sleep-in day, no workout, but I still got up at 3 because my natural clock said it's time to get up. And I would say the first test took place within the first 5 minutes of waking, and it really escalated and magnified from there. It's really been a very challenging day for me. I've really chose my heart. I've really pushed through a lot today. I've been very resilient. I've definitely practiced the muscle of overcoming adversity. Again, being resilient. It's been a tough one. Today's been a tough one. And I'm sharing this because if you were to look back at what I shared today, you probably wouldn't think that because it doesn't appear that way, right? I definitely did shed a few tears today, but not to the capacity of what I shed inside. I was able to kind of bottle it up and not let it come out because I didn't feel in most of my situations it was appropriate because I was around other people. But internally, most of my day would have been very emotional. So I'm sharing this because I think it's really important for people to know that, when you see what you see on social media, don't judge that what you're seeing looks great and positive and happy, because people can be enjoying life positive and happy, and there's nothing wrong with displaying that. But it doesn't mean that they aren't also struggling intensely. They aren't overcoming intensely. They aren't exercising their resilience muscle. They're not overcoming adversity. There's not pain, struggle. They're not weary. They don't feel broken down. They don't feel defeated. You can be both at once. And I believe a lot of people believe you can't experience both at once, but you can. You truly can. I know that because I do it all the time. I experience both. It's crazy that I'm sharing this. It's crazy that it can actually be done, where you can literally be thriving and enjoying the day and the moment and the experience, but inside you could be broken and struggling and defeated and in pain and want to cry. I had one hairy, audacious mission this morning, or today. And it required me to be in my car at 8:20 a.m. And I was convicted I was going where I was going. And I tell you that everything came my way to stop that. And it was one thing after another. So a lot of things before 8:20 a.m. did not take place, were not in my favor, did not pan out the way that I would like them to. But I was adamant about where I was going. And it all made sense why the enemy showed up when the enemy did, to prevent me from doing what it is that I wanted to do before I got in my car at 8:20 a.m. to prevent me from getting in my car at 8:20 a.m. But I pushed through. I pushed hard. I chose my hard. I was obedient. I overcame. I was resilient. I kept it together. I was strong, convicted, and stayed true to the Lord, the Savior, the person who has my back. And I got to where I wanted to be. And I got there on time. It was more like 8:20. Well, actually 8:15 is when I wanted to be in the car. It was 8:20 when I got in there. I would like to share with you that once I got to my destination, which it all makes complete sense that the enemy didn't want me there. It all makes perfect sense. I'd like to tell you that my day took a shift at that point, and a shift for the positive, and it didn't. It didn't. It really continued and it manifested. There was even something when I got to my destination, there was even something that happened to Paul, and he showed me, and I looked at it and I said, yeah, that's because the enemy doesn't want you here. That showed up because the enemy doesn't want you where you're at, because you're doing good. You're doing good things. Whether he understood that, believed that, that's not up to me to figure out, but I knew what it meant. And while after that, the experience of the day were beautiful, I checked off a bucket list place that I wanted to go. But I certainly cannot tell you that it all ended there. No. One thing after another showed up for me to test me, to antagonize me, to distract me, to entice me, to make me get weary, to feel defeated. And I'm getting ready to go to bed again, jammies on. And I am ending this day thankful, very thankful for the opportunities that the Lord presented me with, because I stayed grounded, I stayed convicted, poised, polished. I didn't allow myself to be baited. Yes, baited. Do you ever take the bait? I'm getting so much better about not taking the bait. I am so thankful for all I've endured this year. It's been a lot. Sometimes it feels like more than what I can handle. And I really have no one to share it with, because no one gets it. Because you have to be there to understand. You have to be there. You have to be on that path, that journey, to understand what I'm sharing. But just remember, when you see what you see on social media or platforms, different platforms, there's nothing wrong with people sharing their experiences and their happiness and their enjoyment. But don't ever mistake that for the struggle that they could be feeling too. Because you really can have both. You truly can enjoy and have beautiful experiences and be thriving in those, but yet struggling as well in other areas. You absolutely can. And I hope that if you feel defeated, like I felt today, if you have days where you feel like I literally can't take any more, there was a moment where Paul said to me, yeah, but you do hard things. And I said, I know that I do. But I have to pause right now and make sure that I have the capacity to do the next thing that I was planning on doing. And I didn't. And I was going to get on here. It was around, I think, 10:30 this morning. I was going to get on here after we had left where we went to. And he said, well, hey, why don't we turn the radio on? I said, well, I may jump on stories, but I don't know if I have the capacity to do so. And he said, well, you do hard things. And I love that he views me as that. But I said, I know, I do. But right now, I just don't know if I have the capacity, knowing that the enemy will show up if I get on stories. Because what I was going to share on stories had to do with the Lord, which makes me even more of a target. And I knew that the enemy, and I just, in that moment, didn't know if I had the capacity. And in that moment, I decided that I didn't, that I had been broken down enough and pushed through enough and overcame adversity enough and was resilient enough that I just needed a pause, because I knew the day was young. It was only like 10:39, I think, when I looked at my clock at that time. I had a lot more left of the day, and I knew that more things were going to show up, because I believe people, when they show me who they are, including the enemy, and the enemy is so present in trying to entice me, distract me, destroy me, all these things, I just, in that moment, didn't have the capacity. In that moment, I couldn't endure more. So I said, I'm going to say no to that and take a pause and do something else productive with my time. And so I did. Oh, it's raining, you guys. It couldn't be more perfect that it's raining. It couldn't be more perfect that it's raining. It could be more perfect. I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed. But I'm not going to bed before sharing this with you. That we can feel defeated and we can still be happy and thriving and enjoy our experiences. You can do this because we do hard things. And you can get up tomorrow and you can crush your goals because we choose our heart. Okay? I believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to know that you're worthy, that you're loved, that you're capable. And I know that I am. That's the beauty. I know that I am. I am so loved. I am so worthy. I am God's child, and He loves me, and He's here for me, and He takes care of me. He has never forsaken me. I may have forsaken Him, but He's got me. He's got me in the palm of His hands all the time. So many times today, I praised Him. I praised Him for the struggle. I gave gratitude to Him for the struggle, because it just empowered me to continue to lean on Him. Through thick and thin, I lean on you, Lord. Thank you. Be grateful in everything, in good times and bad. Be grateful in everything. All right? Yeah. I am so ready for bed. I am so ready for bed. What a day. What a day. But you know, I'm healthy. My family is healthy. We can sit here all day long and say it could be so much worse, but I don't play that game, because what I'm feeling and what I endured is real. When I work with a client, sometimes they'll say, I know I shouldn't be complaining, it could be so much worse. And I always say, no. What you're feeling is real. Don't minimize it. It's real. Don't play the it could be worse game. Acknowledge and validate that you have pain right now, that you're suffering, that you feel defeated, that you're exhausted, you're taxed, that you're ready for bed. You just want today to be over. Acknowledge and validate that. Don't minimize it. Don't minimize what you're feeling. It's okay. What you're feeling is perfectly okay, and it makes perfect sense that you feel the way you do. Makes perfect sense. All right, well, I won't know until the morning how the Detroit Lions played. But I know that it's raining and it's beautiful. You guys, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I am so ready for bed. I'm so ready. I'm tested out, guys. I'm tested out. Yeah. Who's with me? I'm tested out. I'm done. I'm spent. I have no more energy to overcome any more tests. I really don't. So good night. Sleep tight. And know that I'm right there with you. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I just want to pop on real quick and say thank you to so many of you who reached out coming off my story on Sunday, where I shared that we can actually be struggling. We can have pain and suffering. We can have grief. We can have chaos. We can have trauma. We can have all of these things in our life and still be happy and still be grateful and still live a fruitful life and still enjoy experiences, people, and enjoy our life. That resonated with so many of you, and I know it resonated with so many more that didn't reach out, and please don't feel you ever need to. It's hard for me to keep up with that anyway, but I know you feel the same. Many of those who reached out shared, and I even have an email from a client last night. I saw it this morning, basically saying the same thing. I'm like waiting. I'm living my life waiting to be through that rocky patch or that suffering. I'm waiting before I enjoy life. There's people that wait until they lose the weight to enjoy life, but you can do both at once. And that's what I think was so profound in my message that I shared. So thank you, Lord, that you worked through me to be that voice that people needed to hear. Here's something I want to share, a little piggyback off that, something that I think about often, and that is, if my great-grandchildren, yes, great-grandchildren, it's possible, folks. God willing, I will have great-grandchildren. I started my family young enough. I'm a young grandma. So it's possible. God willing, it is possible. I would love to enjoy my great-grandchildren. Enjoy, not just have, but enjoy. If one of my great-grandchildren asked me someday in my late life, Grandma, Gigi, if you could go back and change one thing today, if you could go back and change one thing in your life, what would it be? I aspire and do everything in my power to live my life where my answer to that question would be nothing. Nothing. If I could go back, I wouldn't have changed anything. I wouldn't have changed anything. That, to me, is an ultimate goal of mine. And that is why I am not willing to go through pain. I am not willing to go through stress. I am not willing to be suffering, compromise in any way, and not enjoy my life in the same process. I'm not willing. It's a choice. Is it a hard choice? Yes, I choose the hard. It's a hard one, but it's a hard, well worth choosing. Now, I'm not 100% there. There's one big area. It's big. That's probably why it hasn't happened. Big area of my life that I may say if I could go back, I would have, but I stay stuck in fear. Yeah, me too. Yeah, you know what that is? You know what fear is? Yeah, I know many of you do. Maybe all of you. Big decisions and big choices are hard. And when we don't take the necessary steps to make them, it's almost always coming from a place of fear. Not being open to the discomfort. Makes sense, right? But I don't know, because I can't predict the future. I just know that God's hands are on me. I know what I aspire to tell my great-grandchildren, but I'm also okay if I have that answer. Where I stand today, I'm okay if I have that answer, because I see opportunities in everything. And if that were my reply to my great-grandchild, that I have this one wish, if I could go back, I would have done differently. That could be the tool that my great-grandchild needs, right? So something very positive could have came from that. And that's where I want you to shift your lens and shift your thinking, instead of always feeling defeated, always judging yourself for your decisions and choices. There's always an opportunity to see things from a different lens. We all have that power. But so many people are so hardwired, so ingrained, so compulsive at only seeing in their tunnel vision that they never see that we can be grateful in everything. We can be grateful in everything. So if I had to answer my great-grandchild's question with that, I can still be grateful. I can still know that by my choices, I lived a good life, that I was an obedient child, that I was an obedient daughter to my Lord and Savior. I encourage you to reflect on this one today and see how it applies to your life. There's not one of you watching today, listening today, that can't benefit or grow from what I just shared. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. What are you not capturing? Don't miss it. I could pinpoint several takeaways, but I'm kind of wired that way, being a coach and working with a lot of people. But there's a lot of takeaways in what I shared. Have faith, have trust the process, and see the opportunity in everything and be grateful in everything, in good and bad, be grateful in everything. Stretch yourself in that way. Lean into it. All right, time for a leg workout, a mean one.
Trust that what God has for you will come to you, because if it's truly from God, you won't have to force it. If it's truly from God, no man can stop it. The Bible records in the book of Acts, for if their plans or activity is of human...
Real quick, I don't know where I heard this, but I heard that if someone pays you a compliment, it kind of like registers at like a level 1 in your memory bank. But if someone insults you or offends you or says something that you find negative, now understand, they may not, right? We're responsible for our own feelings, folks. And our feelings make sense based on our past wounds and scars. That's why someone could say something to you and mean no harm, but you take it very harmful. Are you setting up systems to protect you from grading, if you had to grade? I don't know if that's exactly how the saying or message goes, but I kind of look at it that way, like we rate compliments, paid compliments, like a level 1. It goes in, we're thankful, we let it go. But if we have something negative that we see as negative, that we deem as negative, it registers at a 10 and we ruminate on it. We sit on it. We think about it. That's what we're reflecting on, right? We're reflecting on that, on someone else's external scorecard of us, right? Not our own, right? I know I'm hitting home for a lot of you, including myself too, but I've done a lot of work. I have my cursor in screenshot mode right there. It's in screenshot mode because I'm about ready to take a screenshot. Believe it or not, I take screenshots. Oh, let me minimize this. Whoopsie, why is that up? Oh yeah, because I rebooted my computer because it's dying. It's dying. I take screenshots. Right here is probably one. I take screenshots and I print them of messages that are a 10. And I read them. I actually will put a couple up here. I'll grab a few for the week and I'll read them. Here's a 10. And I know who this person is. She's worked with me in the past. Only God and my family know this truth. She's talking about my message in the note cards and where I talk about forgiveness. So this is just not about my note card system. This has a lot to do with forgiveness, so don't miss that. Miss the message. Only God and my family know this truth, and that is that. For the last 7 years, I have learned the most about life and how to live it better and better, more from you than anyone else on YouTube or even those in my personal life. Thank you, dear Tracy. But the words thank you will never be enough as a response to how you have changed me and you have raised me. Blessings, great health, love, peace, joy, and prosperity to you and your beautiful family. So the reason I had this in screenshot mode is I'll screenshot it. Let's go on a little tour. They're waiting for me, folks. Oh no, I'm not using those today. I have a different plan. Filming room, and stretching and posture work room. Yes. And heater. I sit by that heater. See, I already have my water bottle set up for tomorrow because I already stretched today. This little guy right here. Hi. Hello. This beautiful masterpiece right here, which was sent to me by a past client and a loyal subscriber, follower, and viewer. You know who you are. She sent me a care package with some goodies in it that I love, and they were all inside this. And this has become a treasure for me. Oh, look what we have here. We have a message. We have all sorts of messages in here. All sorts of messages. Cards that have been sent to me. Aw, happy Mother's Day, love, Carly. Oh, yeah. These are my treasures, guys. You have treasures. But how often are you going to the treasures? How often are you going to the treasures? Because you're so focused on all the insults that you take as an insult, all the rude comments, all the negativity, people pointing out your flaws, which they may not see them as flaws, it's just that's how you take them. But you need to have something that you visit and visit often so that you can read and you can reflect and you can 10x. Yes, yeah, Paul knows what that is. Crypto. You can 10x the positive, beautiful spoken words that you are graced with, that you deservingly are graced with. The reason that I keep my treasure in this room where I stretch and do my posture work is that's how I start my day, with breath work, stretch, posture, meditation, talking to the Lord, setting my intentions. It all takes place in here with this light off and this light on. It'll be very low key lighting. So this is what it looks like for me. And when I'm struggling, especially, I know that this sits right here waiting for me with beautiful spoken words that I may need to read, to reflect on, to celebrate, to be grateful for. Again, be grateful in everything. Please, ladies, gentlemen, all of you, you need to have this box. You need to have something. And you need to visit it, and visit it often. Because we know how much you're visiting the negative comments made to you. You're visiting them all the time. You're setting yourself up for failure by doing that. You will wait to have a happy life if that's where you're going to put your thoughts. Your feelings are your responsibility. So check your thoughts. Set yourself up for success. Set yourself up for success. Yeah. I will save today's powerful message in the Tuesday highlight. Let me know if you'd like me to also share this one in a YouTube video.